There was a time, not so long ago, yet already fading from memory, when a man woke each morning knowing the day might demand everything from him. Not success, not praise, not happiness, just dignity. He did not wake with ambition pounding in his chest. He did not measure his worth by what he would gain. Instead, before his feet touched the floor, he asked himself a quieter question. What do I owe this day? The room was always dim when he woke. Light crept in gently through thin curtains, carrying the faint color of dawn. The house was modest, wooden floors that creaked softly, walls warmed by years of sunlight and smoke from winter fires. The man moved slowly, deliberately. Not because he was weak, but because he respected the morning. He folded his bedding carefully, smoothing the fabric with hands that had known both labor and stillness. Outside, the village was silent except for the distant rustle of trees and the low call of birds just beginning to stir. This was how his days began. Not with urgency, but with intention. He was not a man of speeches. He did not explain himself. He simply lived, and though no one in the village spoke the word often, the shape of his life followed a quiet code. Bushido. Not written, not taught, but repeated. Learning without being taught. Bushido, he believed, was never something passed down in lessons. It was something absorbed, like warmth from the sun, or calm from steady breathing. It lived in repetition, in standing when the body begged to sit, in choosing patience when frustration was easier, in finishing a task even when no one was watching. Each morning, he swept the small path in front of his home. Not because it needed it, but because he did. The broom made a soft, rhythmic sound against the earth. Dust lifted, then settled. The action was simple, almost meaningless to anyone passing by. But to him, it mattered. Because discipline did not announce itself. It whispered. Fear, and the sound of breathing. Fear visited him often. He did not pretend otherwise. It came in the quiet moments, when the world felt heavy, when his body reminded him of years gone by, when memories surfaced without warning. Fear did not disappear. He simply stopped listening to it. Instead, he listened to his breath. Inhale, exhale, a slow rhythm that reminded him he was still here, still capable, still responsible. Strength, he had learned, was not loud. It did not arrive with confidence or certainty. It revealed itself in moments with no witnesses. Sometimes, younger men passed his house. They watched him from a distance, curious but unsure. One day, one of them finally spoke. "Why do you still wake so early?" the young man asked. "There's nothing forcing you to." The older man paused, leaning on his broom. He looked at the sky, pale blue now, the sun just beginning to warm the roofs. "Because," he said quietly, "the day may ask for everything." The young man frowned. He didn't fully understand. But understanding was never the goal. Rectitude. Rectitude, the man believed, was simple. To act. Not when it was convenient, but when it was correct. It showed itself in small moments. Returning a borrowed tool even when no one would notice if you didn't. Speaking gently when irritation rose in the throat. Intervening when silence would be easier. One afternoon, a dispute broke out near the village road. Raised voices. Tension hanging thick in the air. Someone muttered, "Why interfere? This is not your fight." The man stepped forward. Not fast, not dramatic. Just present. "When I see it," he said calmly, "it becomes mine." There was no shouting, no victory, only quiet resolution. And afterward, he slept well. Honor, he believed, was not about applause. It was about sleep. At night, as oil lamps flickered and shadows danced on the walls, the man sometimes sat alone, hands folded, thought steady. He did not think of legacy. He did not think of how he would be remembered. "My name will disappear," he once thought, without sadness. "My actions will not." This brought him peace. Letting go. He understood something many never did. A man who fears death is easy to control, but a man ready to lose everything, comfort, recognition, certainty, becomes impossible to break. Not reckless, not careless, just free. Years passed quietly. The swords were gone. The armor existed only in stories. The old words faded from daily speech. But the code remained. In how neighbors treated one another. In how children learned by watching. In how one man's quiet life reshaped the rhythm of a place. Bushido did not create perfect men. It created unbreakable ones. And now, as the world moves faster than ever, as comfort becomes easier to choose than character, the question remains, soft but persistent. Will you live comfortably or live with honor?